So welcome to the last meetup, Dev Meetup in Signum Network in 2021. We have today a little bit different program. It will start with, I think we make a review of the entire thing of this year. I prepared, in the last minutes, I prepared a presentation for that. Just to recap what we have done in this year and to show everybody what the efforts behind the stuff. This is more from a technical perspective, but we also will cover some of the business things. Probably with Frank aboard here, he will tell us some more details, probably, don't know. We will talk about our current status for sure for the NFT platform. And we have the puzzle. This is the last minute I wasn't able to give more hints on that. I'm not sure. This is not only my own puzzle. This was together with Bibber, with Nevok, and together with Ethereum. I think it was pretty hard and pretty difficult, but we will reveal this over the time here and show how this works. First time that
Do you like to start the stream?
To start the stream? I'm streaming already.
Yeah. No,
I'm not streaming. Oh, I'm not streaming?
Yes, we cannot see. No, I was writing this, yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry. Well, today is not my best day. So it should be stream available right now. You should see something, right? Yes. Yeah, I haven't shown many things. I just like to say hello. Okay. So what when you want to start? I think we start with something about the puzzle in the first place. So I don't have prepared any much more things like here. Let me see, and we're going over to the promo page just to explain a little bit how this works, and we can have a look how many people already got there into. So this was the puzzle, and it was about to enter some magic phrase here, some phrase, whatever this will be. It was revealed on the Discord channel mostly, and I felt that it was very difficult to solve. So, but we have even a proof that we had everything prepared in the right way, and you will see how this works then. So, is there something? Probably we can make one more hint on the things. Let me open the image again. I need to check this. Let me see where it was. We have this here. Okay, so this is the image we have there. I can give you some more hints right now in that way. So this is kind of the title of the song is pointing towards the right thing. It's Latin. This one is a special code called PigPan, if I'm not really wrong. This was Bibber. This one was the vanity address, the one with the Phoenix one. So there was a word inside that address which does not exist on chain. This is just a simple Caesar cipher, and this is the Signum symbol. So these are all the hints I can give you right now. Maybe you can put this all together, and at the end of this meetup, we will reveal the passphrase of the Christmas account, and then you can see that the phrase is already set before we put the smart contract live. So this is no fake at all. Yeah, hopefully this will, all the hints we can give right now, it should be more or less clear how to do that. So you go over here and then you enter your magic phrase, enter the magic phrase, whatever it is, and you can click here, for example, and that should open. It asks here for open the Phoenix wallet, and on my part, it would open the Phoenix wallet. So it hasn't entered. Okay, yes, entering here the phrase and all the stuff. Here would be the magic phrase, and then do all the things, just for you to know how this works in general. Closing that. So a little bit different than the normal one. I will go over deeply into the annual review, kind of a retrospective, what we have done so far. Can I give an F11? So we're in full screen right now. Just to be sure that you can see that what's going on. Can you please confirm that you're seeing the screen?
As we see it in full screen.
Okay, cool, awesome. So this review of the 2021. We started this year very in a kind of a very delicate situation, let's say like that. So this was the moment. I mean delicate because it was like we felt that something had to happen because Burst coin was losing traction and the value of the coin was pretty low, and we needed to do something. And this was even the community charged each other and saying like, hey, there's something, we need to do something. And yeah, there were kind of many things going on. While in the background, Jaws had this awesome idea of this, what we call nowadays the proof of commitment thing. But we started to form a kind of new vision for the entire, for Burst coin at that moment, in the beginning of the year. So we had a new vision that was like, position Burst coin as a blockchain platform. At this time, Burst coin was more or less positioned like a environmentally friendly mineable coin. And the focus was all on mining, and there was not really use case. So the question for adoption was not answered. And we're still working on it, of course. But we now have a vision. We have a way we're going to go. There was something else we were just thinking about. It's like reorganizing the social media accounts because as this platform is pretty old, it's like since 2014, we had a lot of scattered material all over the places, outdated ones, domains not working anymore. And yeah, people come and go. This is normally on a community project like that. And so we had the strong feeling to do something against this. And that was like asking people how we can transfer their domains to giving over to the more active members and all this stuff. And it came up the first plans for rebranding. And this was kind of interesting. While some of the people of the former Burst Apps team and even the BMF, which does not exist anymore, at the Burst Marketing Fund. So we were discussing what we can do differently. And we came even up slightly with the idea of a rebranding. So it came up out of nowhere. People started to claim that we just like decided from top down and all that. But I remember that we had a lot of discussions, and I remember that the people from the German community started to talk about, well, what about the rebranding or giving you a name? And other people all were saying the same. So there were several people around there that had kind of the same idea. It was not organized in the way that we put all together on the table, but we had like a dozen of people which are sitting together and started to think what we can do. There were kind of name findings. I remember that we had one of the favorite ones was like Bloomcoin in the beginning. Yeah, so this was when all the ideas started out with a new vision, and we said, now we need to position this in another way. Just like giving a little bit the historic background on that. And this was in this year. I mean, we end of this year now. And there were in that part, Josh was already working on the idea of a new kind of consensus. And this came out, I mean, probably Josh can say something about this if he wants to, how he came up with the idea, but we had this threat that the mining started to be decentralized in very few big pools. And this was something very concerning for us because we felt that we start, that it started being too centralized, you know, that the issue. And yeah, and there Josh came up with the idea of the hybrids consensus. I think he thought of this for a longer time. He already mentioned that, I think, last year in an article. I'm not sure, just if you want to comment something on there.
Yeah, super quick. Yeah, the idea was to not have something based only on hardware, because if you base it only on hardware, what happens is you cannot defeat the economies of scale, and so people with a big mining farm will always be at a pretty good advantage. You compare it with home mining, and the idea was to make home mining more competitive if you can. Then we included this stake aspect to help home mining, and what we saw was really a new distribution and a way more decentralized mining distribution. Yeah.
Yeah. Joseph, the architect of this consensus, and as you will see when we start to go live with the new consensus, I will mention that this was, in terms of our objectives, this was a huge success because we were able to defeat that problem that we just like had on our radar and see that there has to be done something. So this was practically in Q1. There was not much development forefront, so it was not really visible. And yeah, it was like kind of an orientation phase, knowing about the problems we have with our platform. So Q2, a new strategy, a new name, Signum rises. It started all with the first hard fork of the year. This was the Signum hard fork. It's still under the name of Burstcoin, and the consensus went live. And it was a huge success in several aspects because we could decentralize the mining. We had many new miners coming up. Of course, we took a little bit advantage of that there were a lot of Shia frustrated, or miners from Shia were kind of frustrated because they expected more income. I mean, the expectation was not fulfilled right now at this moment because Shia is, I don't know, several times much more valuable than others, but I mean, it was easier for people with consumer hard drives and all the stuff, and smaller miners or medium-sized miners to mine on our platform apparently than having all the investments and all these problems that Shia had in that way. So we have new miners, new pools come up because they were interested in that. And temporarily we had, because of the high demand for staking, so Burst rose in price up to 60 and even more Satoshi. Unfortunately, we are not there at this moment. But we're doing everything that we will overcome in the next year. I will talk about this later. Probably Frank can mention something about this in a few moments also. But overall, the Signum hard fork was a success, not only technically, but with all the objectives we had behind that. So it went fine. And then in Q2, we had the rebranding. So we did the announcement of the new name. We started technically with all the reorganization of the GitHub repositories and moving all together. So the Phoenix came over. We started to give in a more consistent naming like Signum Node, Signum Miner. We extracted, or I extracted, for example, the Signum JS as a SDK for development for the platform. I extracted it in our own repository. And we started to work on the renamings. We had the prefix change from Burst to S and all this stuff. Then we had the new landing page. We had a professional designer behind that, and it was being set up and maintained by Frank. So kudos to him for that also. So this is all together. So the landing page was also a longer process. And we started, and then there was something that took a little bit of time, especially with CMC, CoinGecko, and a lot of Blockfolio and all this stuff, because the third-party integrations and doing all the communications was kind of cumbersome and kind of stressed because the people, they were not like responding the way we needed it. And there was this confusion between which volume is the correct volume, the Burst or the Signum and all this stuff. So from that point, we can apologize for that confusion we had at that time, but it's like, because of all the third-party integrations, finally we made it all, but it was like, it was kind of a stressy situation. So all this back and forth. There is a lot of efforts behind that to do that. Most times you don't see this, but when there's something like looking out and searching for kind of new value for Signa or for Burst, it's like, was really confusing. I understand all the confusion at that time. So but we made it finally. It took a little bit longer than we expected, but okay, we did it from the rebranding perspective. The same moment, the Signum Network Association was founded. It's a not-for-profit organization. It's a legally registered entity in Switzerland, and its purpose is to have kind of a focal point for potential investors or other people who needs kind of a central focal point, like a legal entity, to interact with, because many people are not really attracted, or investors are not attracted when they just have individuals and no legal entity behind that. Some people thought that it was kind of a centralization or privatization of the community, but this is not true. No way. I mean, nowadays, hopefully everybody is understanding that. But we figured out that it's difficult to talk to people and raising money or funds in something if we don't have something, a special point on that or a focal point. Not sure, Frank, if you want to if you want to comment something on that or better not. Not sure.
No, it's all good what you were saying. Yeah, so the Signum Network Association is more like the connector between the chain and the companies and businesses and funds and everything else. And with Benjamin Schröter, we have a quite good chairman now, which is quite active in the background. And I think we will see some outcome in beginning next year of all the activity which is running in the background at the moment. I can't say more to that, but Signum Network Association, the SNA, is quite active, and I hope we will get it with some results for everyone here quite soon.
We all hope this. So there was something else. We had new exchanges. Through donations, and this is a special shout out to the Merriman Group, which donated a lot of money just to get listed on a bunch of exchanges. The problem is that, for example, that not all is like sustainable in the way. Everybody's like, or many people are saying like, oh, just like pay some bucks and go listed on the exchange. It's not that easy as you think. We had issues in the past with hacked exchanges. For example, I remember the Ethereum disaster in the last year. So, and it's kind of really frustrating to see if you like spend all your time and your money and making all this possible, and in the end, it's like because of technical incompetence, for example, that the exchanges just fail. So being listed on exchanges is not the first place or the first citizen strategy we want to have. We need to have reputable exchanges. We need to be listed on good exchanges, stable exchanges, secure exchanges. And this is not all easy to do so. Of course, we want to see us on Binance, on Coinbase, on KuCoin, whatever. But we need to grow before we can do this. And this is aligned with the strategy for the next year in terms of growth. We're aiming for that. Just to say,
and to make it, and just one comment from me, the SNA is aiming for top 10 now for next year and not for all these shitty little small exchanges. We made a lot of experience with these ones now, and it is worth the effort. Huh? We should not look at all these smaller exchanges or for a quick win or something. Makes no sense. We will go for top 10 and nothing else with SNA. That's our goal.
Yeah. And then Q3, Q4. This is like what I felt the most. I call this Q3 productivity because we really started technically wise. We started really to rocket. I mean, in things. So we had a new partnerships. Some of them with Lootboy. So Lootboy is promoting us on their gaming events. They're integrating their platform. Well, there's not big outcome of that, but there's we placing the name, the brand somewhere, and in a huge audience, starting to going that way, making more merchandise and more marketing on that part. Will be probably more next year of that. So we know that we need more effort on that side, making more marketing. This is one of the gaps we have, but this is like we have a focus or we have a vision on that. And we expect to really have this in place next year. We were integrated with cryptocurrency checkout. This was something, this is thanks to our initiative with the BPSAA. So the Signum is BPSAA member. So for who's not knowing what the BPSAA is, this is the Blockchain Privacy Security Adoption Association or Alliance. So where we have Ergo, Pirate Chain, Bittrex, Sentinel, Handshake, the newest member on that. On Handshake, there is something we're working together and want to see that we can do more on that part, like a new DNS, decentralized DNS system, Ether1, Turtle Network. So there are a lot of people around. We have about a reach of 500,000, a little bit more, 500,000 people. We have a weekly meeting. I attend every weekend. and talking together with Draft and Dream Team and Hash Rates, all the guys from Pirate, Ergo, and Ether. We have good contact to a YouTuber, which is Crypto Rich. So on that part, it's like a small step we're doing, but we are active on that part. And sometimes we have some recordings together with them, and we have roundtables. And hopefully, with the next year, with the post-pandemic situation, that we can establish physical meetings with them. So we're working on that part. Interestingly, the BPSAA, especially, is looking towards cooperations with regulatory authorities of the United States at this moment. So we were in contact with the Senator's office of Senator Loomis and other people. So we are close to these people, and we are figuring out what we can do and how we can help them on that part as part of Signum, together with our friends from the Alliance. I'm not sure if everybody knows about this membership we were there, but yeah. I think it's worth to mention that also. Tech updates in Q3, a lot of things. So I just try to make this compact as possible. There was a new Phoenix version with a revamped layout, new pool software or enhanced ones. This might mainly designed or redesigned, let's say that, by iPro, so kudos to him. Ethereum came up with a smart C platform. He was working for for a long time already on that. So you have another way to writing smart contracts with a bunch of new features. Hopefully next year we can align on them that we have on Smart J, which is the Java platform for the smart contracts, and the Smart C, which is a C-like language for writing smart contracts, working together. Just to have an idea, the current promotion or Xmas puzzle is running on Smart C written smart contract. Yeah, so shout out to Ethereum. He's very active on that part and doing other things, interestingly. So very, very important contributions to our side. We have, of course, from our Russian-speaking community, the contributions for the Telegram bots, which are pretty useful also. I use them. I think many people will use them. So thanks to that. And we have a steady contact to the people out there. I think they're baking something in the background. I heard something about the game. Not exactly have details, but there is something going on. And this is what I want to see, or what we want to see in general, that many people are working on this, on development, because the more heads we have, minds and brains we have working on that, the more ideas came up, and it's better. We have the Bittrex enhancement with mining and plotting embedded, like an all-in-one solution. So this was the main key features I could remember in this year on that part in this quarter, so Q3. Not sure sorry if I forgot something, but yeah. And then was the preparation for the hard fork Speedway, for the Speedway hard fork. This was the new fee regime, so that we have faster confirmations, because we were we need to improve the old slot system, or change that. There were kind of refinements on the POC Plus in terms of better calculations and loss oscillations in the commitment calculations. And then there came up this new feature, which was initially called carbon contracts. Nowadays, we tend to call them green contracts. That means that we can make a reference to an existing contract code in the chain, and saying okay, if you run that contract, then just point to that code there inside, and we don't need to redeploy and occupy space in the blockchain every time we want to have a new contract, of the same type. This will be very important and very interesting for mass reusable contracts like NFTs. I will talk about this in a few moments also. So this was kind of a pathway already for the new stuff coming up. Speedway was applied. Remember that. I made this video with the Cybertruck, and this is in social media. So Q4, I call this a token season. Why? Because we're going towards the tokenomics. This is part of the strategy, which was announced by the SNA, that the upcoming year will fully focus on tokenomics, and we are laying the groundwork at this moment. It started all with a kind of wrapped Signa on the BSC, on the Binance Smart Chain. We have this liquidity pools on PancakeSwap. So it was a nice surprise, which came up over a weekend, something like that, like a hardcore coding session. So congrats to Joss and Frank who made this possible. So the biggest part, and later we'll make it just like giving an update on that one, which is the Sigmart. NFT as our answer to the NFT craze we're seeing right now. So we have just reached the first milestone. That means like infrastructure, backend and frontend is all in place. All the models are there. There's like refinement. We are doing the QA, quality assurance testing on the testnet right now. That's why I'm kind of tired today because I just worked like 3 o'clock in the morning. So we have already all the on-chain data can be read and processed in Chown on the platform. So really big thing, and we are just starting the second phase, which will be the content creation from a UI perspective. Yeah, so I will have, I will show you a little bit later how it looks like today. Yeah, very, very, very interesting thing. What else? Yeah, there are hard fork preparations for native liquidity pools and smart tokens. We just had an article on that on Medium. So if you want to have details on that, go to the Medium profile of Signa Network and have a look into that. This will be very interesting. Not sure if Joss or Frank want to comment on this somehow, or if maybe we can later ask, if you want to ask questions, we can maybe have this in a discussion later. Yeah, probably.
I can give just a quick comment. We are calling smart tokens because we are working on this concept that you have layer 1, you have layer 2, and this people hear about this all the time. And we are working on what we are calling the smart layer 1, which is, it has some features from layer 1 and some from layer 2. And the smart tokens, they fit on this concept of a smart layer 1. And this is already in place. What's missing now is to implement the liquidity pools in a native way, in a smart way, not actually requiring smart contract to run.
Yeah. Yeah, probably there will be a lot of questions. If not today, for sure in the future. So the smart tokens, as far as I remember, it's like they're mintable, and you can, yeah, maybe what else? I can't remember that right now. I'm too tired for that. But
yeah, I mean, just on the smart tokens. On one hand, we extended the attributes of the token itself, so you can now also mint it later. At the moment, this is not possible. So we have always a fixed size of tokens. Later, you'll be able to mint additional tokens if you set this at the beginning. You are also able now to burn tokens.
yeah.
It was already possible in the past, but now you can really send it to our 0 address. So like other chains, you have it then into the black hole. And also by addition, we can also now burn Signa. This was also blocked so far. This will not anymore blocked. So we can also remove Signa from the chain if you like, also on the same address. And we introduced a lot of new transaction types, or not a lot, but some. And the most interesting is this distribution to asset holders, because here we can really distribute Signa and a different token, and or both in one transaction, to our holders of a target token. And this is one transaction, and we calculated this, and it's quite nice because if we calculate this way, we are saying we have also, all this TPS stuff, which is talked in the presses, is about how many TPS your chain has. We have at the moment 4 dot something up to 80, depends which transactions are put into the block. But we were talking also here about smart TPS in the future, because we have one transaction, but this transaction is doing like million transactions in once. No other chain is doing this like we're doing now in the future. And if we calculate this, we are faster than, or we can do more transactions, also STPS, as Solana, for example. And Solana, as everyone knows, has a huge number of TPS. but they do it one by one. They do a dump at the end. They're just doing it, creating a transaction for one action. And we're doing one transaction for, let's say, transferring money to 100,000 holders within one transaction. And also we only use about 200 bytes, for example, for this transaction, and that's it, not more. So I think it's a tiny transaction type, but maybe this is something which people talk about in the future quite often, because nobody get quite attention on this right now. But we hope also that we by Q1 next year we can really play this game with these huge smart TPS we have at the end. And this comes together with a smart layer, like Jose was saying. We will also have some of these smart tokens. We will have the smart liquidity pools or native liquidity pools. We go with this pattern, by the way. So smart is our way to go. We have this already on the landing page. And it's all about storing less data, keeping the node simple and small, that everyone can join the network, that everyone can start mining, and you don't need any big hardware, anything or nothing or something like this, like on other chains. We are just the chain where everyone can join easily, and also with low fees at the end, as we have already introduced. My short comment.
And yeah, and not to forget, the awareness for energy consumption is hitting hard on the major blockchains, specifically Bitcoin and even Ethereum. I can see the discussions on Twitter and all other stuff. I remember that somebody was, for example, showing his mining farm, and he was kind of proud showing his mining farm with Ethereum, and then he get bashed by hundreds of people and saying like energy consumption is absurd, and these people are like driving the prices for the GPUs in other spheres and all this stuff. So this is not on Signum. So we're just like with our consumer electronics, and yeah, let's see where this goes to. I mean, this is the sustainable blockchain, and it's a very smart blockchain, to be honest. Next, what do we have here? Oh, it's stuck. No, there it is. And finally, Q4, the unknown top 30 exchange started integrations, as far as I know. We had the log4shell thread, which I just like emphasize here. This is no threat for us, and it wasn't a threat for us because we used an old log4j library, version 1. I don't know what, which was not affected by this JNDI injection stuff. And the newest, if there is an update, I think there is already an update. It must be updated to 2.16. I just read recently. I'm not sure if Joss has already done that, but so we are not really a victim of this problem that shaped around the entire IT world.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for testnet we were using it, but we updated already. For mainnet we were not using a version that had problem.
Yeah, and then there is we have a new Explorer in place. I mean, it's not a new one; it's an old one. It's a little bit refaced and a little bit rebranded. So a few people already saw that. So this is also from this miscellaneous thing. I'm still working. Okay, my focus right now is entirely on the NFT platform, and there will be a extension, browser extension, like a wallet, like MetaMask, that we will use together with the NFT platform and further platforms in the future. So yeah, this is something we're working on.
Yeah, I like to stress this again. No, I mean these browser extension we are trying to develop also. It's a main part of our vision, because then if we have this in place, we will start with the NFT portal for this for sure. We will have our portal for the tokens and liquidity pools, and then everyone else can start creating use cases with that, with his own web page. And also and I mean also there was a long asked question for BTDEX to go to web. I think finally we will also get with that, because the portal will combine the feature of BTDEX and liquidity pools and token creation in once. So you will have BTDEX for sure still, and should also be there because it's also mining and everything else. And if somebody likes to have it standalone, you can still have it there. But we would also have then a web browser application, which is then also good for the mainstream because nobody needs to install anything beside mining. Oh, this is without that. But if you like to trade on liquidity pools or tokens, you don't need to install anything anymore. Just you need to install the plugin on the browser. You can add your account or create a new one and go for it. And we hope also a lot of other people can then start their own business with our Signum chain.
Yeah. So this is practically everything for the review. I mean, this was already 30 minutes review. A lot of things happened this year, and I'm really excited and looking forward to see what's going on in next year. This would be incredible, I think so, with all that what's going on right now. I want to give you just a small teaser. Let me see. There's this. And going over to our platform here. So as you can see, for example, just giving you a preview. These are real data on testnet already. There's not everything in place we're working on. As I said, the QA is there, but you get an idea how this will look like. There's not mock data anymore, so we can go for hot collections here. It's going, hopefully it should work. It's coming. See, there's small bugs, but of course on the testnet. So it needs small improvements, but I think you get a good idea of what's going on. So you can see this one here, for example, is in auction, and make an offer and all the things coming up. So you see here the connect wallet button, which is without function in that moment, but I think you get an idea of what is coming to us. So works pretty nice. You see it's kind of fast going here. So you see that once cached all the things, it's going really fast. So stay tuned, see what's going on then. And then finally, there's something that I have to do right now, which is about the puzzle. I need to think. Give me a moment. Yeah, just like. Are there any questions so far?
Is it solved yet, or you need to give extra hints?
I mean, let me see. We can, if we want, we can even let it go a little bit further. Just I need to check if there how this works out. I'm going to the. Let me see. This is one with the chain. This is the testnet explorer. We go to the other one. And so this is the contract. 40 minutes ago, I can. I think we can close it. So what I do right now, just to give you an idea, this was the, let me see, there's an arbitrary message going out. I sent this on December 15th, and this is the winner phrase. As you can see, it was encrypted.
We're seeing the Explorer. I don't know if you.
You're still seeing the Explorer.
Yeah.
It's because of screen share.
Show something.
Okay. Yes. Thank you. Always the same issue I have. I don't know where's the. I'm sharing my screen. Change windows. What I'm showing you right now, the Phoenix wallet. Just like getting back to the transaction, just to see that. So the smart contract was created on December 16th, and the message defined, the winner message was sent on 15, and it's like decrypted now, and this is the phrase to win. And what I will do right now is I need to change the streaming screen again. Change windows again. I go to the screens, going over here. So removing that from here, going to the promo, and then it's like so I can participate now. The fun fact is I don't have enough balance for that. Okay, I need to let me do something.
We only see the internet page at the moment.
Yeah, it's like I want to send this with the creator account to the smart contract to close the thing. So I need to transfer a little bit to the Christmas account. You're not seeing that right now at this moment.
Yeah, maybe we can open a questionnaire round.
Yeah.
Meanwhile.
Yeah. So feel free to ask while people may answer here, and I'm just like preparing to close all the things here. Go on.
With, I guess, the increased, trying to get tokens and whatnot more available. I know there's been questions in the past about being able to change the description on tokens. Is that something that could be looked into for, before the next hard fork? I see that as being valuable going forward with tokens and liquidity pools, becoming more prevalent.
So what was the question exactly?
Exactly. What was the question about?
Is there going to be ability to change the description for assets? Currently that's a locked entry. I know other people have asked it in the past, and I think that would be something that's going to be wanted in the near future with the increased usage of tokens and liquidity pools.
Yeah, I think in general, if you will have later a portal where you have your tokens to show and to have like your liquidity pools, maybe we will do something besides the fixed description. It's still fixed as we have it on the blockchain, but with the portal we can create a way around or make a workaround, because you also need to have, for example, a logo for your token later. Maybe, and if you are trusted, you need also to send some data, which is more than we could put onto the chain. And it maybe comes up similar to the Pancake stuff, where you can add extra data, which is shown in the Explorer, for example, or also on the portal. And on the chain, you have the original description still, but we could change it with another way. Or we could also handle this via additional messages from the token creator, just updating the description indirectly. So we should think like this. At the moment, we don't want to touch at the moment this description. It's fixed on the chain, but we make workaround for you later that we will show newer data, for example, and people can then see the history of these changes. And then it's the same at the end. Answers this your question, or?
Yeah, I think so for now.
Yeah. Okay.
Shifas is asking to talk more about the vision.
Yeah, the vision. I mean,
it's clear. It's stated in the Medium article. about the strategy for what's coming up next year. We can go through it if we want to, while the smart contract is not doing the
We
payoff.
could stress some points a bit more, like moving out from a miner's coin that people only care about mining and nothing else, because that's obviously not sustainable. And also relying more on user applications and going to web. Like if you create your token, you should also create a web page and show to your users or potential holders your information. And so no, don't rely that much only on what's on wallets, and do more dynamic content. And that's why Frank also suggested that we could have something else besides the description for tokens, like in a portal, or you create your own web page. You can connect that web page using the browser extension, and so people can work more, can be more creative and create new stuff, not only what's there already. And that we believe is what will bring more innovation to our chain, not like only the ones building the protocol and the platform will create something. The best would be if other people can create something, use the extension, and build a web page for a service or a web page for a token or whatever, and not be limited to what the wallets do, because and what the protocol says, because that's way harder to change. If you want to change something in the protocol level, that takes months. You need to work with the exchanges, they need to upgrade, that's always painful and stuff like that. So just to complement on just a few comments extra on the vision.
Somebody's asking if burning is already possible. So couldn't make it with Bittrex, nor with Web Phoenix 1. Burning Signa tokens should be done via the same process. It's written in the chat. As far as I know, we can burn, yes, if you just send to non-existing, to the 0 address, right? Never did
Yeah,
this.
I mean, I think Signa was so far blocked for the user to burn. It was not nobody was able to burn Signa from his wallet. And this will be now open with the hard fork, with the upcoming hard fork. And there you will also burn it to the same address like tokens, but it's different transactions. The one is the send money transaction for Signa, and the other one is a transfer for tokens. But that's also something we did know. We have these transfer transaction for tokens is also now open for Signa. So you can transfer Signa and tokens in one transaction again. So our smart TPS is going to 2 here, because we have one transaction with 2 actions inside. And why we do that? This is something we will also want to do for the smart contracts later, because we want to open the smart contract framework for token handling. And if you then send tokens to a smart contract, you also need to send Signa to activate the token. So this is just a preparation for the smart contract framework. We want to boost also in the next year, Q2, Q3 somewhere. And beside that, you also be able to burn Signa. You can also now send Signa with the transfer together with tokens to the 0 address, but also later then to the smart contracts, which also makes then much more sense.
Right now on mainnet, you cannot burn Signa or tokens directly. You need to send to a smart contract, and then the smart contract can burn them. But you cannot directly do it, because you cannot send to the burning address, which is the 0 address. You cannot do that directly. Only smart contracts currently can do that. But we have that option now already running on testnet, as Frank mentioned.
Somebody's asking here on private if Bittrex could be more proactive in terms of notifying us when something is starting to be in maintenance mode. We can ask that. I'm not sure. I don't think they have this kind of policy, and it's like letting this to the project maintainers somehow. I think so. But we can ask them in the Slack channel to see if there's a possibility, or if there's some kind of monitoring we can do. If they have an API to see something, probably we can establish something like that. This is a good idea. Yeah, because I understand it's really. Go ahead.
I think this is due to the latest incident when they close deposits and withdrawals without announcement and anything. But that was just an emergency. They didn't know which software were affected by this log for Java library. So they stopped all wallets that were Java. They just stopped. And they contacted us asking if we had any problem, if we should update something, and then we just told them we are not affected, and they said, okay, then now that there's a queue, and your wallet will be put back online. But that took like 2 days. They have hundreds of wallets they need to attend. And for instance, someone was saying that another project had wallets frozen for almost a month now, and with us we don't have that kind of problem. It's just a day or two. I don't actually see a problem with Bittrex. This was just an emergency, and they just stopped all Java-based projects.
Yeah,
as a precaution.
Which already, I mean, this is something that makes. I appreciated that, because I was thinking, like, hey, these guys are really caring about the things. They're like scanning everything. This is kind of like an indicator for a quality exchange, to be honest. This was the only exchange who asked or reached out for this. I'm not sure. I'm the only one.
Exactly.
The only one. So this is a fair, and we have a good relationship with them. So they're really, sometimes they delay a little bit. They know that, but they always attend our needs, and we just have to insist on. So I really appreciate the partnership. I'm not sure if this is the right word, with Bittrex. Yeah. Guys, we have winners. As you can see, there were payouts. So the first prize, later on I will update the promo page to show all the winners here. So if I see it correctly, the first prize, 2,000, almost 2,000, went out to Falcon Alex 91. Second place was to Puddle Jumper. Third place to F302. Burrowing 10 was in the fourth, and there's somebody else in the fourth. And the rest of the budget of the funds that are in the smart contract were sent directly to SNA. So I know it was a pretty hard puzzle. We will do this in one or another way in the future again. I thank you for this participation. It was a small game, just like to show off a little bit the capabilities of our smart contracts also. This was pretty cool. Thank you to Deleterium. Thank you to Nivok and Bibber. Bibber prepared the graphics, the music from Nivok. Deleterium, the smart contract. Thanks for all that. And yeah, if there are not much more anymore to ask today, let me see if there are more questions in the channel. Then there's only one thing I can do, is like wishing you a happy Christmas and a happy New Year, and we see us next year. But I need to check if there are more questions at this moment. Let me see. Hey, Alexander, it's you. Okay, cool. Congrats to the winners. Yeah, there are not more questions, I think so. Are there any questions? If not, we can close today.
Congratulations to the winners. And on this subject, I ran a little promotion myself, but that backfired because it was the Champions game, and the guy was able to win with a super low bet and 1,000 Signa with just about 10 Signa. That was in the Telegram. But yeah, Wish you all Merry Christmas.
There's one thing I forgot because there was something that Joss talked about the adoption and with new tools coming up, and especially the extension wallet. There's something I forgot to mention, which I just honorably, I have to mention that because Gitbook just granted us as an open source project their platform to document our whatever we want to document, and I started to document Signum JS. This is pretty cool because this is one of the part of my personal desire that many more developers starts to work on the blockchain, because it sounds like it's a really weird technology, but from a if you understand how client server works a little bit in certain and you know how to make HTTP calls or API calls, then you're almost 80% done with all the rest you need. And so the Signum JS is a documentation where you start to putting some kind of simple examples here inside. So you can see, unfortunately, this is not in dark mode. I'm sorry, it's not able to do that, but you can see that we have different kind of examples explained here inside, and I will extend this documentation over the time. So if you have a kind of idea and a little bit of development skills, a little bit on JavaScript or TypeScript, so you can use that. If you're a Java developer, we have SignumJ, which is a Java SDK. So if there is the time, we start to work on that also and making a little bit more documentation for that part, because we know this is kind of siloed knowledge at this moment, and we should spread this as much as possible to everyone. So if you have ideas on things, or you want to have some kind of coding things, smaller ones, as you know, we are pretty busy on all this stuff. Don't hesitate to reach us out so we can do something together. And this is my final words for this year. And next year is to the moon and beyond with Signa. Happy New Year. Happy Christmas.